Hi, College Confidence families. Thank you so much for dedicating some time to listen more about College Confidence Academy for Parents. I am really thrilled to teach you how are you going to ensure that your teen will have options after high school while building this really great relationship with your teen, and really importantly as well, staying within your family budget. I mean, we can't talk about college as like a dream or a fantasy anymore. We are really concerned about debt in this country. We do not want our young adults to leave college with a huge amount of debt, and nor do we ever want to take on more debt as parents, because we've got retirement to kind of consider. We've got retirement to plan out. So the program that I'm going to show you in this video is really how do we do all of it? And usually when parents come to me, they're in some sort of conflict in this stage as a family. Maybe the parents are really worried and they want their teens to be motivated, and they're trying to push the college agenda on their teen, and all of a sudden they're getting the eye rolls, the silent treatment, the door slams, maybe other negative responses. Maybe it becomes so negative that, the parents might say, you know what, welcome to adulting, babe. Like, you're on your own. I don't want anything to do with it, right? And then now this young teen who's never engaged in such a process of planning is really trying to make this happen on their own, which makes it really overwhelming and cumbersome. So neither of those lend to good results, right? And so what I hope is through a step-by-step program with a village of parents, with me to lean on and to give you mentorship, you're going to be able to pace this out in a way that celebrates a relationship between you and your teen, in a way that builds a foundation where you can understand like this child that you've raised and what they're thinking now, as that teen brain and that young adult brain may be thinking about like what the world is and what their opportunities are. So hold on tight. I think this is going to be really fun for you to be aware, and hopefully you'll join me for the course. So one thing I do want you to think about is, and a lot of parents do, they'll say, well, wait a minute, why do I have to do the hard work as a parent? Raising a teen is hard enough. I just need them to speak to me about their day, or to feed them, or to drive them somewhere, to have them safe, right? Safety is such a huge concern for a parent, especially raising teenagers. And of course, we want to look to other people. We'll say, wait, this is too hard. This is a role for a high school counselor to take on, or this is a role for a private college counselor to take on. And there are certain challenges with that. In terms of the high school staff and the high school counselors, which really do amazing work. But I think it's really also important to understand the ratios that they're dealing with. For the Association for American School Counselors, they've done a research looking at a healthy student to counselor ratio. And what that number is kind of pretty amazing. The healthy counselor to student ratio is 1 to 250. So imagine a counselor, one adult, taking care of 250 teenagers. I mean, when we thought our job was hard as a parent, taking care of 1 or 3 teenagers in the home, it's really tough. I mean, in terms of how much depth that a high school counselor can have with your teenager, in terms of helping them define what is it that they're looking for in life, in profession, in after high school experience. If a teenager does say, I want to go to college, really, what does that mean? And does a high school counselor have enough time to really dig deep in figuring out what is motivating the teen to go to college, or thinking about another option? So time is of the essence, and that 1 to 250 healthy ratio is not the norm in this country. If you looked at California has a 1 to 760 student ratio. Arizona has 1 to 924, and New York is 1 to 635. I mean, so just when we thought, wow, 250 is a lot, well, 635 is a lot, 760 is a lot, 900 is a lot. So I think that's why I would like to advocate that parents really kind of take, an assertive approach and saying, well, how can I help in this process? Because I have direct access to my teen. I can kind of help him or her figure these things out. The other thing is hiring the private college counselor. And I am one of those. I would have families that would just say, please, we will pay you so much money if you just take care of this. Now, and I'll be happy to do it. But there's a price tag to that. And usually this is when families have waited too late. Maybe they're in denial. They just never really, or they've tried to engage in the process and their teen gave them some hardship. And then it became too hard to talk about it. Or there was a lot of conflict that happened. And so the parents will seem to disengage and say, you know what, let's just have someone else do it. That's kind of like the kind of the takeaway. Let's just have someone else do it. As a parent, I can't. It's the law of love. But private college counselors can charge anywhere between $3,000 way up to $20,000. I mean, it can even go up more higher than that. But you can be spending an average of $3,000 to $6,000 on college planning because, and the timing is usually wrong. Usually it's late junior year, early senior year, and everyone is panicking. And so what happened is that this environment, an unhealthy environment is created where planning for what college or whatever option is right for your teen, budgeting, having a thoughtful conversation about life in general, what the goals are, why we should have those goals. It's too late to have meaningful and positive conversations about that. We're all jumping ships thinking, oh my God, how are we going to survive this process? Just apply. And we're all in a hurry. We're in a panic. And if you can imagine, it is never good for the teen to feel that way. So you might be wondering too, like, well, who is this Sonia? Why me to help kind of guide and mentor you as a parent? So I think first of all, it's just the amount of experience I've had in the profession. I've had I like to say 2 decades. I don't like to say 20 years. 2 decades. I don't even know which one sounds better, but I've had 20 years of experience of more specifically college admission counseling. But I've also helped students find the right path. It could be work-related, internship, a gap year, community college. So for me, I work from the inside out. I place teens at the very center of this process. I do not want teens to be obedient or disciplined following what their adults have said that's right for them because it's too much money at stake. It's too much time at stake. They need to begin whatever option that they've decided is right for them with clear intent and purpose and decision of that, of the accountability that they're going to have in this path they've chosen. It will save time. It will save money. Ultimately, they will be happier and they will be happier and successful adults later on the road. I've also just kind of passed the test of being a parent myself, helping my teen go through the process of college admissions. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't, a lot of people think, oh, Sonia, you've done this for so long. You're the expert. This must have been so easy for you. And it wasn't. I had a really tough student who happened to be my child. She was what a lot of society considers middle of the road, not high levels of motivation or competition or needing to get the straight A's. And for me at first, I was falling into the trap of, oh my gosh, she could probably do better. She could do more. And her and I did butt heads. We've reached, the kind of the natural conflicts between parent and teen because that fear was seeping into me, which is so ironic. And I was starting to have the process about me. And great thing that I can do this is the counseling side came in and said, whoa, why are you having conflict? Stay on the road. Are you placing your teen in the center? And I wasn't. And so during that time, I was kind of applying some methods that I thought would be helpful to both of us. And it really worked. So there are some particular methods where I said constantly, how is Bella, my teen, the center of this process? And she became confident. We explored many different options, not just college, but we explored gap year, community college, the workforce. I let her kind of see what those options are, understand them, and eventually she was the one that came to the decision, and it happened to be a 4-year university. And then, of course, the planning started with the 4-year university path. And the result is that she was able to complete 8 applications about 2 months before the application deadline. So when she made the commitment and was accountable to this decision and allowed me to help her pace out the process, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like we didn't wait till last minute. There was no panic. We were able to create a budget and communicate that budget to Bella. So she kind of knew if I was accepted to these options, how much money would they have to give me, or would I have to say no thank you to an acceptance? We prepared her for all of that way in advance. So here she is, October of her senior year, completed the application process and enjoying what it is to be a teenager, because the end is near. You only have, the end of senior year before you become like that adult. Out of the 8 applications, she did get accepted to 7 of them. And what was truly such a celebration for us is over half of those colleges offered her $85,000 in scholarships for 4 years. That's not bad for middle of the road. And to me, I didn't have an agenda of telling her you have to get scholarships in order to afford college, or, we have to pick those colleges that will only give you money. Placing Bella at the center and figuring out what is the right environment for her, what would be, does she have a sense of purpose and intent there, really rewarded us as a family in terms of her choices. And now again, she's enjoying her, I think her second week now in an out-of-state university in a college that we can afford as a family. So what I did was I combined my 20 years experience in college admissions as a professional, and I combined my extraordinary experience as a parent. I jammed those two together and created this very specific program designed just for parents through College Confidence Academy. And the program is going to help you with these things. First, it's going to help you get your teen motivated. And that's like magic nowadays. Like, how do I keep my teen motivated to kind of see the future and not always like focus on the present? The program's also going to help you make the right decisions with really careful guidance. So pace is really important. You can't jam pack a whole bunch of information in a couple months. So in a careful pace through this timeline that we have, you're going to slowly kind of say, how do I guide my teen carefully, thoughtfully, with the right information? And because you have access to me, the program is going to give you the most up-to-date information, so you can start to apply the techniques, right? So not only the landscape of admissions and other options, but really how does a teen brain work? And then how do we engage with that teen brain to keep them motivated? The cool thing about this program is that after every class that we have, so it's a virtual class, it's all live, we're brainstorming, we're having conversations, we're learning, but after every class, you are going to get an assignment. So it's not like all of us in the parent virtual classroom are learning about theories. You are going to be required to apply it. So I will give you an assignment to say, I want you to do these 3 things with your teen based on the strategies and methods that we learned today, wherever that module is. And then you are going to try it. And then you're going to come back to the group. You're going to talk with me individually if you need to say, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. And so we're going to develop that momentum as we go through the 12 sessions so that there is something that hooks on, that there is a positive connection that you're making with your teen. There are thoughtful, meaningful conversations happening when planning for future options after high school. So I really want you to imagine this. I mean, the benefits of this program is learning, information, resources, methods and strategies, engaging with your teen, also the tangible resources and information on certain options after high school. But to me, I want you to imagine what it is, the real benefits of this program. Like, what if, you're done and your teen really does have a sense of purpose and clarity in what they want to pursue after high school? Like, to me, that's priceless. And you're helping them find that place and purpose. So, and I also want you to imagine, like, what if there are no arguments, there are no silent treatments? There's going to be some hiccups, there's going to be some disagreements, but there's no full-blown arguments, or you're not losing sleep because you don't know if your teen likes you, or maybe you're questioning if you like your teen. Imagine if you are confident, that you remain confident to say to yourself, I can continue to be a parent of my teenager on through his or her adult life, because we've established this relationship where I am celebrating the talents, the strengths, the contribution that my teen has made. He and she knows that and can rely on me to be a life mentor. Those benefits to me is what makes it an extraordinary life. But for me, I could leave this earth with a huge smile on my face, having just that sense of being a parent. And I really want you to have that too. Okay, so here's the program. I'm going to kind of like itemize it one by one so you can kind of see everything that you're getting within the program. So number one is a 12-session parent university semester. So in 12 session, you will be engaged in small cohort groups, and I will be facilitating all the classes. We meet virtually and we meet live. So we are all engaged in active conversations and learning about how this process is going to work. That includes both learning about and understanding requirements for each option after high school. And then the other side is like, well, how do we present these options and communicate this in a positive way with our teens? All of the meetings will be recorded. You'll have access to a members only area on my website, where you'll have all the recordings of our meetings, all the assignments, and all the resources for a lifetime, in the time that fits your needs. And then, like I said before, every session you're going to have an actionable item. So we're going to teach you a strategy or method where I'm going to give you the confidence to say, now try this out, and then you're going to report. The other thing, so the next thing in the program is that I am going to teach you or show you how to be the wow factor as a parent. And I mentioned this already in the video. You should be I'll tell you, when I was the high school counselor and a private college counselor, and parents kind of told me, you handle my teen and help them be motivated and inspired about life, it felt great. I loved the relationship I was building with your teen. I loved hearing about their vision, their questioning, their fears. It was sacred. And I developed this amazing relationship with your teenagers. Why can't you be that person? Because although I will take it as a professional, I'll take it because that is the most rewarding profession to be in. As a parent, it should be the most sacred thing for you to want. So instead of being fearful about how hard it might be to establish the wow factor, bring it on. Have the courage to bring it on. You're going to have a village. You're going to have me to help you be the wow factor. And I should probably tell you what the wow factor stands for. The acronym is WOW. So WOW, W being wise, because you will have up-to-date information. The O is the opportunity educator, because your teen's going to look at you to say, I have opportunities. I don't have just one path ahead of me, but my parent is going to show me the variety of opportunities ahead of me. And that gives me flexibility to think, to dream, to really analyze the decision I'm about to make. And then the W in WOW is just the wealth. And it's not wealth and money, okay? Because they're going to understand that there is a limit to what you can afford. Instead of that, or the wealth of information, because you will have that for being wise, it is actually the wealth of love. It is the wealth of love, patience, and empathy. Because as parents, we don't want our fear driving the process, nor do we want that developing the foundational relationship right before they leave, your home. If they can look to us to be all of it, wise, opportunity educator, and wealth of just patience, love, and empathy, then we will be with them for a lifetime. And so after we establish the village that we're in terms of the cohort of other parents and myself helping you through this process, after we establish you being the wow factor in your teen's life, then the most important after that is money. Okay, now this is the other wealth. Really figuring out how much as a family can we help invest in our teens, option after high school. And that has to be early. We need to open up that conversation. We need to actually build the budget and figure out what is going to be that price tag. Many times parents are so fearful about talking about affordability with their teen because they feel like that will demotivate their teen. If they say to their teen, we don't have any money to support you in college, or we only have this much to support you in college, parents fear that being that transparent, the teen will be like, well, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be living in your home for the rest of your life. I'll just go to work and not consider higher education. What I have found is that teens really crave that transparency. They want to know how much support their parents can give with the best of intention. They want to know if there is nothing, that there is no money being saved up for their college education because other priorities in their family's life take precedence. And And through this module together, I'm actually going to build out the budget for you and saying, how do you determine out-of-pocket expenses? Because there's a lot of fantasy language in marketing these days saying, there's so much scholarships out there, colleges want you, just apply and you're going to get all this money back. But that is marketing hype. There is a system where you can figure out, okay, this is all nice and I hope to get some of that free money, but nothing's ever free, right? But what will be my out-of-pocket expense? And how can I communicate that out-of-pocket expense to my teen? How much will my teen need to invest in his or her higher education or options after high school? That is powerful for a teen. I have had meetings with teens and parents where I ask straight up to the teenager, would you like to know how much your family can support you in college? And there'll be this awkward silence. And the teen will say, yeah, I really do want to know. So through this module, I'm going to give you the courage and transparency to figure out what is the budget, create that budget in an actionable kind of assignment, and then give you some methods on sharing that budget with your teen. The other thing we're going to go over is exploring what are all those options after high school. So yes, I told you I have a bias with college admissions, both freshman and transfer admissions, but your student may not be ready for college right away, or they just don't know what it is or what it means to them. So we're going to talk about 6 options, what those options entail, what are the requirements, what are the benefits, and what are the challenges, and then what are the costs for each of those options. So that would really be great to know early on, budget and what are those 6 options. And then we go on to something that takes a lot of time for teens is jumping into what I call the College Essay Genius seminar. And whether your child, teen, young adult, goes to college or not, how they articulate their thoughts and ideas in writing is critical. It's so critical because even in my my daughter's elementary school, we went to back to school night, and the teacher said something like, "Oh yeah, these kids don't like to write anymore. They just don't like to write." And for me, I'm like, but they have to. I mean, whether they're actually writing or they're typing, they need to practice how thoughts in here get into like words, because they need to articulate their thoughts, actions, and ideas to another person, whether it's for a college essay, whether it's for an internship, a gap year program, a job. So from my experience, I'm going to give you hacks on how you can help your teen write the college essay or any other letter or cover letter or other essay for an application that will be happening in their near future. Other things that we're going to talk about is the college list architect. So yes, this is kind of, looking at the college option only, but for many cases, a college education is going to be a minimum requirement for many jobs. And whether your teen goes to college directly after high school or they take a break, a gap year, maybe they work and they go to college later, they still need to know, how do I select colleges that are right for me? This is one of the most toughest challenges in my profession, is selecting a college list that's targeted personally to my teen. So I'm going to give you a specific strategy that helps cut down, how do you look at 4,000 colleges in this country? How do you kind of wean out and not look at every one of them, which we'll be all 90 years old by the time we do that, and look at this really thoughtful list, a list of 10, a list of 20, where we can start to help our teen engage and say, start here, look at these. And for me, the priority is, like I said before, inside out. Which colleges places the teen at the center? So we look at academic fit, we look at social fit, personality fit. It may include what is comfortable for them, what is uncomfortable for them, because, and this is a really important step, we can't just say, get accepted to a 4-year college, off you go, and then cross our fingers and say, hope you stay. We really need to predict that they will stay for 4 years, 2 years, 4 years, whatever that program is, and be successful, because that is a short-term investment. It's a lot of money, and then we need them into a profession, right? We don't need them in college for 6 years. We don't need them in college, and then after they graduate, they're as lost as when they began. All of that is a waste of time and money. And then, of course, most importantly is, a young adult won't feel great about who they are. They won't feel proud about where they're going. So we're going to go over College List Architect. We're also going to go over the different types of applications out there. So I call it college applications demystified. There are a lot of similarities amongst these applications. I just want to throw you what the similarities and differences are, because the terminology is going to be thrown at you, and I want you to be kind of already aware and say, yeah, no, I know about all this already. So we'll go over that. And then one of the other important things is like, oh, well, honey, if you're going to go to college, you better be a lawyer. You better be a doctor. You better be a business leader. So we will review majors, minors, certifications, double majoring, trades, all of that. It will be in one module. We'll talk about the dynamics and flexibility of all those terms, why it's important to look at it, and why it's important not to be focused on it. Because the job market is changing right underneath our noses. And sometimes as adults, we're being biased in how we're communicating what our teen should major in. So it's looking at what are the strategies to introduce these different programs to our students, how colleges are being flexible with young adults and choosing a major, so we can keep teens excited, not feel pinned against the corner saying it's either this or this, but really asking the question, what would you get if you learned more about this major? And how does that excite you? How does that motivate you? So we'll review that in one whole module. And we're going to cover so much more in between all of that. But again, like if I'm expecting you as a parent to pace it out nice and slow with your teen, don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to pace it out nice and slow for you as a parent to absorb all this. But the coolest thing about it, so not only will you get all that information, you're going to get a guidebook with all the action plans already in one spot. So everything's going to be recorded and written down. So you'll get the what, when, and how action plans. You'll have access to me. So I call it the College Admissions Expert Concierge, because you'll have access to me. I run our private Facebook page. I respond to all emails. So I don't have another person pretending to be the expert. It's me. So you'll have direct access and quick access when you need it. You're also going to get a podcast. So I know that maybe your schedule can't allow for you to attend every virtual class that we have. So I am recording all those lessons in a podcast. So whether you're on your way somewhere or maybe you're doing self-care and you're taking a long road trip to a spa, you can hear this podcast. So I'll have all the lessons nice and organized for you to catch up or to stay ahead if you want. If you're one of those type of students, you'll get the podcast. I'm also going to help you build your first college list. So as you're learning about the College List Architect and you're thinking about colleges and diving in, I'm going to help you build that first personalized college list for your teen. I'm also going to help you with reviewing a college essay or any essay. I'm calling it the college essay, but if it's an essay or a cover letter or, you're applying to a program and you need an essay for that, you can count on me to do a first review, to give you some feedback, to help you communicate the feedback on how to improve with your teen. So you're going to get all of that. So it's kind of like, not only are you going to be the wow factor and you're going to take charge of this process and you're going to get really close to your teen, but you also have this private college counselor helping you. So it's really this nice compromise. You're not throwing your teen to a private college counselor to take care of it, but it is me is on your side to help you navigate the process. And again, to keep it positive. I am more focused on the relationship that you will have with your teen, and also your teen feeling confident and proud about the options that you together as a family created, which is going to be just so awesome. So again, I want you to enjoy your teen. I want you to enjoy the process. I think the village is really important. So being part of parents who are sharing similar experiences, and especially a small cohort is important. So you're going to be a part of that. You're going to help your teen create these solid options and watch them develop these independent skills, because they are going to be exercising some decision making that they're going to be held accountable for. Right? And that's what we want. We want them to take on some of these decisions, whether you totally agree or not. And then again, like hopefully with me, I was able to celebrate the opportunities my teen had. I want you to celebrate these opportunities based on their talents and their strengths and their joys in life. So I want you to think about it. I mean, I've told you in terms of the investment, this program to me is, I would have spent it in a heartbeat, knowing what I cost to hire myself as a private college counselor if I waited too long. Think about how many times you've tried to engage and it wasn't successful, or it led to these conflicts with your teen that didn't feel great at all, or maybe it increased your anxiety and you're not sleeping well. You're in constant worry about if your teen will be okay. Think about like how much time you can afford in this process. How much money can you afford in this process? All of these worries and concerns to me can be alleviated by joining the program that I've offered, because it's controlled, it's concise, it's personalized, it's at a pace that you won't feel overwhelmed. You have people that will have your back. So think about that. Think about the benefits of what this program can do for you. So I know what my purpose in life is. I'm so blessed to have found that early in my life. My purpose is to really help you have this extraordinary relationship with your teen. I want you to build strong relationship where, you're a part of their life for a lifetime. I know, and I think I've had this revelation kind of finishing through, the process with my teen. And I'm looking back, and now she's out of the house, and I'm looking back and saying, I'm so happy that she has allowed me to remain in her life, that she's independent, but she sees me as her mentor. That's priceless, really. So as a human being, I always say this to my kids too, and I say this to myself: live an extraordinary life. One where when you leave this earth, no matter what day it might be, there will be a smile on your face because you've taken risks just enough to accept those failures, but to know how to recover and then really embrace the beauty of what life has to give. And that's what I celebrate. And I hope that philosophy aligns with yours. So hurry up. I always say hurry up because the cohorts, because they're small, they are filling up. So I am trying to give as much flexibility in my time in terms of the classes that I'm hosting. I really want you to jump on board so that you don't have to be on a waiting list. So hurry up. I really want you to be part of our village. I want to be your mentor from parent to parent, from college admissions expert to parent. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, send me a direct message on Facebook, join our private Facebook page called College Confident Parents. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this, and hopefully, again, we'll be working soon.